Hi. When we had a chance to do a project for Texas Instruments Innovation Challenge 2014, we discussed a lot with among our team members and decided to do a project based on energy harvesting. We finalized a project called Green Power. It is based on energy harvesting using piezoelectric vibrations. This is a green initiative to reduce the dependence on battery of a few microwatt to milliwatt loads of numerous electronic devices. Our main intention is to spread the idea of energy harvesting based on piezoelectric crystals in our country, where we can use enormous abundant vibrations which are naturally present for the purpose of energy harvesting. After googling through internet, we found the one project about energy harvesting based on piezo vibrations by Emma Louise Worthington, which is based on circuit including analog devices. After studying in detail, we came to know that the same can be implemented in a better way if you use a microcontroller. So we started design of our project keeping MSP430 in mind and few piezo materials which are used for vibration sensors. The concept of our project is piezoelectric effect. Our main focus was on electronic circuit of the entire project, but the implementation and design of the piezo materials was kept aside of our domain. Our initial tests on piezo materials proved to be inconclusive with very little output even after paralleling several piezo sensors. The reason being very high input impedance of the piezo sensors of order few mega ohms. On investigating, we found that the material we are using is not relevant for the energy harvesting. So on gathering more information about the material, we narrowed down to the energy harvesters by Midday Technologies USA. Based on zirconate, lead and titanate. The data sheets indicated that they have very low impedance when compared to earlier materials. One more order we faced was that they were not successful in porting the MSP430 with LCD ADC interface and transistor switching. After going through TI website, we came to know about TIVA C series Launchpad kit. It proved that it is very easy for programming with a lot of workshop lessons available. It is easier to learn ARM for 32-bit microcontroller. It is at this stage we started designing a simple charge pump storage circuit to store the energy in supercapacitor of rating 5 volt. ADC, LCD interface and transistor switching around the TIVA C series Launchpad, and the same is boosted to 24 volt DC using TPS 61175 IC. Now I request my team member Mohammad Azhar Basha to present the test setup for simulation of vibrations.
Hi. Since our project is energy harvesting using vibrations, we need to simulate different frequencies of vibration that occur naturally, like 10 to 12 Hz for cycling, 2 to 3 Hz for walking, that is human walking, and few hundreds of Hz for machinery works. Now, to simulate these different frequencies of vibration, we need a tabletop electrodynamic shaker of capacity 2 to 250 Hz. The hurdle which we faced here was sourcing the tabletop electrodynamic shaker, since there were no manufacturers in our country and hence we had to import it, and also the cost was approximately $200 to $400. So we thought of dropping off this at a point of time and concentrate mainly on the electronic circuit part. After searching through internet, we came across a project in which a 500 watt subwoofer speaker was used to simulate different frequencies of vibrations. Also, the piezoelectric crystals which we have used in our project was manufactured by Midday Technological Corporation and it had a resonance frequency of 150 Hz. So we tested with 10 watt, 20 watt and 50 watt subwoofer speaker. Later we came to know that 20 watt subwoofer speaker matched with the resonant frequency of the piezoelectric crystal. Correspondingly, a 20 watt amplifier circuit was designed using Sanyo IC L84440 and PCB was fabricated. The cone of the speaker was cut so as to eliminate the noise transmitting from the speaker coil to the piezoelectric crystals. This we came to know through a speaker service vendor who fixed a tube to the coil of the speaker onto which the piezoelectric crystals were mounted. He was the one who gave us the idea about how to mount a piezoelectric crystal onto the speaker for testing. The 20-watt amplifier which we have designed earlier needed 1.5 amps of current for proper biasing. Hence, for this purpose, we built a separate power supply unit using 7812 voltage regulator for 12 volts of biasing. Hence, the test setup consisted of assembly of speaker onto which piezoelectric crystal was mounted, DC power supply, 20 watts amplifier and a signal generator. Now, my friend Kaushik is going to explain you further regarding the heart of our project circuitry, that is nothing but charge pump storage using TIVA C series launchpad and also DC-DC converter.
Upon testing the electrodynamic shaker, we observed that the voltage produced by the piezoelectric crystal array is in the range of 50 volts to 135 volts peak to peak. The frequency of the produced voltage is matching with that of the signal generator. In order to successfully charge a supercapacitor, we need to convert the produced AC voltage into DC. In order to do that, we first designed a MOSFET rectifier having low loss. We then wanted to further step down the voltage in order that not to overcharge the supercapacitor, which we took as a safety precaution. We then decided upon LM2596, designed using T-ICE WebBench software. But this proved unsuccessful since the MOSFETs were getting heated up and also the piezos were getting overloaded. We had to search for an alternate. So we opted for a step-down transformer rated at 12 volts and 150 Hz. We then used a low-loss Schottky full-wave rectifier which then converted the AC into DC. We then designed the charge pump storage circuit consisting of 3 capacitors in parallel. These capacitors were separated by 2 P-MOSFET switches. We then came across the principle that no 2 fully charged capacitors should be connected in parallel. By doing so, half the energy is lost. In order to avoid this energy loss, we decided to design an interlock circuit which consisted of a Schmitt-Trigger NAND gate using CD4093IC. This interlock mechanism is designed in such a way that at any given point of time, only one of the 2 switches is closed and by interlock the other switch is open. We then tested out the interlock mechanism manually in breadboard and the testing was proved successful, but we wanted to make it automatic. So we interfaced LCD and ADC with the TIVA microcontroller in order to read the voltage levels produced by these capacitors. We then interfaced the LCD and ADC to the charge pump storage circuit and the interlock mechanism, and we successfully read the voltage levels of the supercapacitor and the charging capacitor, and automatic switching was programmed in TIVA. We then tested the entire charge pump storage circuit on breadboard and the testing proved successful. We successfully charged a supercapacitor rated at 1 farad 5.5 volts and tested the supercapacitor using a simple LED. We then gave the entire charge pump storage circuit for PCB fabrication. We faced a hurdle at this point. The PCB vendor refused to fabricate the PCB as he was busy with different projects. So we had to scout for another PCB vendor. Upon googling, we came to know that Greenmill International in Bangalore fabricates PCBs. We then discussed the circuit and we gave the required materials such as the schematic in ORCAD and the required data sheets of all the components for him to fabricate the PCB. Once the PCB was fabricated, we tested and found that the test results were matching with the breadboard results. We then wanted to improve the circuit further. Since the voltage of the supercapacitor kept decreasing, we added a boost converter rated to 1.2 volts input to 5 volts input and 5 volts output. This boost converter ensured that the voltage across the supercapacitor is kept constant to 5 volts even though the supercapacitor kept decreasing. On using this, any electronic devices that run on 5 volts could be powered using this simple supercapacitor. Further applications that require 12 volts, 24 volts, we've designed a 24 volts boost converter using TPS 61175 web bench design from TI and implemented a 24 volts DC. We thank Texas Instruments for giving this opportunity, and we also like to thank our mentor Mr. Keshav Murthy and all the vendors who made this project possible.